Yo. Welcome to the Rocket City Network. Today, let's talk about some domestic violence that was caught on camera. UFC President Dana White was caught having an altercation with his wife that turned physical. He slapped her up pretty good. It was wild. It was wild. I mean, of course, she slapped him too. But me and Courtney were talking about it previously, but we wanted to chime in live on it, right? So, Courtney, what's your take on the whole incident that happened with Dana White?
I think it's I think unfortunately when you're a big name and you're in public, you must always keep an eye because people are always watching you. And in this case, something ugly between Dana White and his wife was in a public setting, and unfortunately somebody recorded it and loaded it up online. Domestic violence is never okay, whether she hit him or he hit her, it's never okay. The problem with it is that how ESPN tiptoed around the situation. They did a segment on First Take where Stephen A. Smith was asked to give his opinion, and he chose to say Dana White was his friend and he has a relationship with him and he knows him very well. And so I'm not going to cast judgment. My problem is this. You know Kyrie. You may not have the type of relationship with Kyrie that you know that you have with Dana White, but you know Kyrie. He's a man just like Dana White. He's a husband and a father just like Dana White. He's a public figure. But just like Dana White, he deserves the same type of respect that you gave to Dana White. Like with the COVID situation and with this anti-Semitic thing, all y'all did was sit up there and bash Kyrie. Shaq and Barkley called him an idiot and all of this stuff. But Dana White slaps his wife on camera for the world to see. And because ESPN has a relationship with Dana White, they want to tiptoe around the situation. And Dana White's wife going to come out and say, oh, this has never happened before. Whatever. You got to do damage control in this situation. But I just don't like the way that some athletes, some people in the media get a pass, but Kyrie doesn't get a pass because he doesn't want to get vaccinated, which is his choice.
Yeah.
Kyrie posts a link to something that he didn't say anything anti-Semitic, but immediately people come and he's anti-Semitic, and Nike drops him and all this other stuff, and the owner, we need to sit down and talk with the Jewish community. But I'm gonna flip that back on them. When Breonna Taylor and all these black people were dying, y'all didn't sit down with Kyrie and say, hey, what can we do to help the plight of black people in America? Nobody said that. But whenever it's other than black, it's always a rush to help. So I just feel like with us, that Kyrie situation, it just showed how the media is biased and two-faced when it comes to certain people in the spotlight.
Yeah, and to piggyback off what you said, Kyrie merely posted something.
Correct.
Whereas Dana White, there's evidence, there's footage of him striking his wife. And for Stephen A. Smith to say that he knows this person, he's his friend, he knows him on a personal level, he doesn't want to cast judgment. What do you mean cast judgment? We all saw the footage.
Right.
I mean, it's one of those things, don't see anything, but yet and still, you're going to be so critical on players and other individuals who slip up in life. I can remember the Ray Rice incident, right? They pretty much crucified him. But I guess since Dana White is a billionaire or, very, very liked in the sports world, he gets a pass. They wanted Kyrie to sit down with Jewish leaders and have a summit, right? Has anybody wanted to sit down with Dana White and create a summit for him and abuse the women? I haven't heard any stories of that. Have you?
Right.
So, I mean, to whom much is given, much is required. And it doesn't really shock me, right?
Right.
It's very, how do you say it? The reason why they're giving him a pass is because they probably seen how his wife hit him, right? And my thing is, keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself, right? Now she was wrong for striking him,
most definitely,
but he was wrong for striking her. And for her to say that this never happened before, nobody does that out in the open if they haven't done it behind closed doors. That's very brave, especially in the days that we live in with social media. Everybody has a camera on them. It's called a cell phone. So I don't believe her. So I think that she's trying to save face, perhaps trying to save her marriage, perhaps trying to save her husband. But at the end of the day, this was not a situation where it was bad judgment. This was based off of behavior. Okay?
Correct.
Nobody does that. Nobody. Oh, it's my first time ever hitting my wife, and it was at New Year's Eve party. Nah, bro, you've done it before.
Done it before. If you,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you've definitely done it before, and it just so happened that in this moment you got caught doing it. You don't like nothing in whatever's done in the dark will come to the light. So you, sir, ma'am, can't tell me that behind closed doors that you all have never gotten into a physical altercation. It just wasn't for the world to see. I'm not casting judgment because I don't know them, obviously. But my thing is accountability can't be up here for this person and down here for this person. That's not how it is. But unfortunately, in our society today, that's the way the world is. Accountability for some, and the rest, we just want to sweep it under the rug. But I just feel like this happened for a reason. And again, if you're going to crucify Kyrie because he posted something, then you must crucify him for slapping his wife.
Yeah. I mean, he got away with it, but he ain't get away with it.
He got away with it, but he ain't get away with it.
So we're eager to see what's going to happen with this. Is this going to be pushed under the rug like the whole Brett Favre situation? Because it seems to be a pattern, right? That some individuals are given a pass and everybody remains silent on them, but an individual who probably is more outspoken. I mean, I know a lot of folks didn't like Kyrie's stance on COVID and they call him a flat earther. So he's not as well liked as a Dana White probably when it comes to the media, because he is well articulate. He can articulate himself really well, and he doesn't answer certain questions
very well.
So I think he's more in the limelight than Dana White is, right? And then of course he's a basketball player, and we know the whole shut up and dribble. The media might not feel that basketball players are that intelligent, sadly. But I think Dana White, he owes the world an apology. And somebody needs to be pushing for him to sit down with domestic abuse survivors.
Give a donation.
Give a donation. Him and his wife. They might need to go to some kind of marriage counseling. Go to a marriage retreat. Man, it's wild. So hopefully, like I said before, this does not get shoved under the rug like so many other situations that we've seen this past year, right? Man, it's a wild one. It's a wild one. I mean, he was, all those years of him talking about other, combat sports individuals, and, they've had issues like your Mayweathers, man, it's deep. Like, he should be the last person nowadays to call somebody a coward.
It is.
Now looking back, I wish that him and Ortiz had that match. UFC fans know what I'm talking about. Man, it's wild. It's wild.
You know what's so wild? You know what's so wild? You just talked about Brett Favre. It's so crazy how Brett Favre allegedly stole this money from welfare recipients in Mississippi, allegedly. And like you said, the information came out, and they hit on it for a little bit, or also the Jerry Jones photo of him being in Arkansas, right? You notice they got a little bit about that. And again, Stephen A. Smith is at the forefront. I know him. Well, Stephen A. Smith, if you grew up in the time period where you and Jerry Jones were the same age, Jerry Jones would have stopped you from entering into a school. So I'm just simply saying, you can't give people passes, right? Just because Jerry Jones writes millions of checks for Black people doesn't mean he harbors any ill will. Slave masters slept with their slaves, but that's a whole other story we could get into, brother.
Yeah.
But I take the fact Brett Favre, Dana White, and Jerry Jones, three prominent white men in the sports world, gets a pass. But here you have Kyrie Irving, as you said, an articulate Black basketball player who believes that the earth is flat. Nobody cares. That's his opinion. If that's what he wants to believe, that's what he wants to believe. He doesn't want to get vaccinated. That's his problem. He believes that Black people are the real Israelites. That's not an issue. But as you stated, it should not be a Black man with this high level of thinking pushing these issues to the forefront. You just shoot hoops for us, Negro, and don't worry about nothing else, as if he's not a man and doesn't have to live in this world just like we do.
Yeah, that is the truth. And that's the reason why some folks love LeBron, some folks love Jordan. Some people hate LeBron, nobody hates Jordan, right? And we could talk about that all day long, right?
Definitely.
Of course, again, to whom much is given, much is required. Dana White, man, you got to get it together, right? The media, y'all have to get it together. We shouldn't have social media driving the media to report on things.
Right.
It shouldn't be the issue.
Right.
And so more to come on this story. Like always, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we're out. Yeah.